Hey everyone, welcome back. In the last video, I talked about the major issue of why isn't volleyball as successful as other major sports like basketball or football. I proposed the Simple Scoring Differential System, or SSD system for short, to help improve the gameplay of volleyball in order to make rallies more impactful by awarding more points for balls that land in the court than those that land out of bounds. My obviously biased opinion is that the SSD system would help improve volleyball's gameplay. But now we need to ask if the SSD system is the best we can do. Can we push it even further to make volleyball even more dynamic and engaging? Let's consider a more complex scoring system that builds on the SSD system and call it the Complex Differential Scoring System, or CDS system for short. First, let's return to the last video's supposition that volleyball can learn from what the other major sports are doing right. In basketball, baskets aren't worth 1 or 2 points, they're worth 2 or 3 points. Why is that? Honestly, I don't know the exact reason or history behind it, but I do know that mathematically, the point ratio of 2 to 1 baskets would be 2 times, which is very large. It could overly incentivize players to attempt 2-point shots only to not bother with the single-point shots at all. Instead, basketball has 2-point and 3-point baskets for a ratio of 1.5 times, which I believe better maintains a balance of 2 and 3-point baskets. Unless your name is Steph Curry or Caitlin Clark. Similarly, I believe the 1 to 2 point scoring ratio of the SSD system would be too large. So what if we found a way to add a 1-point scoring play to the mix? That way, we could bump up other plays to 2 and 3 points, creating a scoring ratio similar to basketball's. But what could that 1-point scoring play be? Let's remember that the ultimate goal in volleyball is to kill the ball to the opponent's court. So let's renormalize the scoring system to the ultimate goal by biasing the points on how close a team gets to killing the ball to the opponent's court. And then we can introduce a 1-point scoring play. Here are the rules I propose for the CDS system. Rule 1. 3 points to the opponent on whose court the ball lands in. Rule number 2. 2 points to the attacking team for an attack that crosses the net, deflects off an opponent, and then lands out. Rule number 3, 1 point to the attacking team for an attack hit that is rebounded by the block back to the attacking team's side and then lands out of bounds. Rule number 4, 2 points to the blocking team for a block that rebounds the ball off an attacking team player and then out of bounds. Rule number 5, 3 points to the opponent of a team that commits a fault like a net violation or double contact. In simple terms, the rules say 3 points for the ball that lands on anyone's court, 2 points for hits that cross the net and deflect off an opponent and out of bounds, 1 point for hitting the ball off the block and out of bounds on the attacking team side, 2 points for a block that hits off an attacking team player and then out of bounds, and lastly, 3 points for any faults. So the closer you get to the ultimate goal of killing the ball to the opponent's court, the more points you earn. It also creates a 1.5 times point ratio between the 2 most common types of kills, similar to basketball's 2 most common baskets scored. You might be wondering, why make faults worth 3 points? In the current system, a fault is worth 1 point, which is the maximum number of points by default. So, in the CDS system, it makes sense to make the penalty the max number of points, which would be 3. This would also really discourage faults. But could 3 points be too harsh a penalty? It definitely could be. We wouldn't know until it's actually executed. If it turns out to be too much, we can dial it back to 2 or even 1 point if necessary. But to start, I think 3 points makes the most sense. So, do I prefer the SSD or the CDS system? If you guessed the CDS system, you'd be right. If I had thought the SSD system was the best, I wouldn't have wasted my time coming up with the CDS system. I think the 1 to 2 to 3 point ratios of the CDS system are better than the double point ratio of the SSD system. Most importantly, it'll make more impactful plays worth more points. Think about this possibility. Your team is down by 3 points, and your opponent is 1 point away from winning when you crush a 3-point kill to tie the game in a single rally, just like a buzzer beater in basketball. The CDS system also allows blockers, in a sense, to save points when the ball is deflected off their block and out of bounds, since at least they prevented the ball from being killed to their court. Similarly, the CDS system allows defenders, in a sense, as well, to save points when they deflect attacks out of bounds, since they prevent the ball from being killed to their court. Both blockers and defenders can make more quantifiable impacts on every game every time they even get a basic touch on the ball that prevents it from touching their court. So what do you think? Do you prefer the CDS system or the SSD system? Do you think a 3-point penalty for faults is too harsh? Do you have any ideas on how to improve either of these systems? I really want to hear your ideas because I believe iron sharpens iron, and I genuinely want to improve volleyball. I also want to make a disclaimer that I made an effort to see if anyone else has already proposed a new scoring system similar to either of the SSD or CDS systems. I did not find any. I only saw people simply suggesting to make blocks worth 2 points, but that was it. So if someone out there has already proposed a system similar to either, I promise you I'm not plagiarizing it. Lastly, let me make some realistic expectations for the CDS system. I don't think it's a magic bullet that will suddenly catapult volleyball to the same level of prominence as the other major sports. It won't. Obviously, the mountain volleyball needs to climb is more complex than just making the right rule changes. Like I alluded to in the previous video, the business of sports is volleyball's biggest hurdle. Instead, I see it as a crucial fix to a key structural flaw that's been holding volleyball back from progressing. It's one step in the right direction to unlock volleyball's full potential. I believe the CDS system would help volleyball grow, but I'm also realistic that it's going to take a lot more than just the CDS system to get anywhere near the level of success of the other major sports. In the following videos, I'll go over rule clarifications that will make the CDS system complete enough that a group could play an entire match with it. I'd like to thank my wonderful family for their love and support. Take care, everyone.